Our church word in this episode is holy.
Let's go! Welcome to James and Aaron. I'm Aaron. This is part 2 of our epic road trip from Huntsville, and we actually just arrived into our destination. We are at the west gate of Algonquin Park. I don't know if you've ever been to Algonquin Park or not, but this is the largest provincial park in Ontario. It is massive. It also is home to tons and tons and tons of wildlife, like this right here. The construction worker in their natural habitat. We wanted to come here because this place is it's so beautiful. You never know what you're going to find. And really, we just needed to get out somewhere and get some fresh air because we're frankly tired of sitting at home like everybody else is. And so we got our vaccination so we can go do stuff and be in the same car and film and so that we can go and do this for you, just to kind of come along on some of the adventures that we've got going on. So we are in Algonquin Park. We're gonna go check out some cool things in Algonquin Park. This is the West Gate Welcome Center, I guess. Where are we at? The Welcome Center gate?
Yeah, we're at the Welcome Center. The actual West Gate is like just past this.
Check out this cool sign.
This is the highway we're driving.
Look how big this park is. It's huge, and we're just like, I don't know, we're gonna maybe go to like here or something. We'll turn around at the main Welcome Center, which is not open right now.
That's a long way. I think way over here is Whitney. It's about a 2-hour drive from Huntsville. So it takes about 2 hours just for us to drive across this section of the park.
What do you consider pure? Like, have you ever considered that when you're eating store-bought food, that there's regulations in just how much mouse and rat feces and mouse and rat hair is allowed in the food that we eat? Now, it's not astronomically high, like 1 milligram per 450,000 grams or something like that. But still, if you knew that there was a mouse turd in your bag of rice that you just cooked, you probably wouldn't be super stoked. But there are some people, and the people that regulate food in America and Canada consider that to be pure. On today's episode of James and Aaron, we're going to talk about this word holy, which really means pure and sacred and unblemished and things like that. And so we want to kind of dive into this description and this character of God, which is holy and pure.
So here's how I understand holiness, right? Only God is holy, right? And so holiness kind of, it means to be entirely unique, different, separate from. So if you think of that, like God is very different from any other being that we know or understand, right? God is entirely unique and different. God is holy. God is pure. There is, if we go back to the food analogy, there's no mouse turds in the bag of rice that is God, right? If that makes sense. God is entirely pure. Right, and it also speaks about this difference. For us to become holy, we are being made pure. God is taking who we are, who we were, who we are, and changing us into something new and pure. Kind of removing the mouse turds from our lives, if you want to think about it that way. But again, Jesus was an excellent example of this in the way he lived his life, right? The things that he did and the things that he said were very unique and different than the culture and understanding of his time, and very different than the culture and understanding of today, right? So Jesus, his stuff was very counterintuitive. He talked about the first will be last and things like that were just like, in his society and in our society today, we promote this idea of being like a self-made person that's all about the stuff that you can grab and your stature and your status, and Jesus said no, it's actually the opposite, right? His perspective was unique and different. It was holy, and that's what God is calling us to as well.
So there's actually a Bible verse that really talks about this, but we have to unpack it a little bit more. This is from 1 Peter 1, verse 15 to 16. It says, "But as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in your conduct. Since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy." So what is this verse saying? Is it saying that we are supposed to achieve like this God-like status? No, we will never ever get to that point. But we are supposed to pursue a similar character and moral standards as Jesus was. We're supposed to model our lives like him. And so while we will never get to the point of being holy in the sense that God is holy, he wants us to be different. He wants us to be morally different. He wants us to be upstanding people, and then also people that stick out because we are different and set aside.
What does that look like for us in our day-to-day lives? How do we model holiness in the way that we conduct our business from day to day? So again, look to the model that Jesus set out for us, right? It requires some intentionality on our part, right? Because by definition, holiness means that it's different from the way the rest of the world operates. So, again, Jesus laid out a great model of giving of himself for the greater good of the people around him, right? And so that's a pretty good principle to live by as we go about our daily business. We need to stop every once in a while and ask ourselves, is what I'm doing, is this the way the world does things, or would this be the way that Jesus does things?
So we're at this really cool fire tower here in Algonquin Park, and while it's a recreation, the whole idea is that a ranger would sit up here and look all across the land and look for signs of smoke. He would look across the pristine valleys and forests and look for signs of forest fire. And that's a really cool analogy for looking at our lives.
Yeah, just like a ranger would keep his eyes out for signs of smoke, we need to be watchful of our own lives, right, and be looking for signs of smoke in our own lives. I guess the beginnings of unholiness, so that we can, the whole point is so that we can put those fires out before they start, right? So again, yeah, if we're watchful in our own lives and watching for those early warning signs, then we can react and sort of weed those things out of our lives.
So just as Scripture says, be holy for I am holy. That doesn't mean to be pure as God is. But God desires us to keep a watch on ourselves and our conduct, and to shoot for that and to aim for that. And so that's the whole idea of holiness, is that while God is set apart and set aside and pure, he desires us to get to that point in our conduct. For James and Aaron, I'm Aaron.
I'm James.
From Algonquin Park. See you next time.